Keys saves the day if you've lost or broken keys. They can program new keys and remotes for nearly every make and model of vehicle at a fraction of the dealership cost. Fast, honest, and reliable locksmith service. Call Instant Keys, 722-1111.
Are you about ready to deck the halls for the holidays, but your home is cluttered with unwanted junk? Don't let the mess dampen your holiday spirit. Call J-Dog Junk Removal. And it's not just about cleaning up your space, it's about making a positive impact. You deserve a clutter-free home to celebrate in style. They're on a mission to make your holidays brighter and your home junk-free. Call now at 844-GET-JDOG or enter your zip code at jdog.com. J-Dog Junk Removal. Veteran-owned, veteran-operated.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. He's Hacker.
So much so that I had to ask around. I'm like, hey, I'm kind of a nice guy, right?
Hacker is an ass.
So I'm getting into my old age at 39 years old. Try not to let things bother me. Just know that I'm ultra soft.
And he doesn't shy away from opinions.
See Baker Mayfield throw 4 passes, but I get to see this homeless guy return a ball for a touchdown.
It's Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
And a very good Thanksgiving Eve to you, Jacksonville. It is Hacker After Dark on a Wednesday, 1010XL, 92.5 FM with Dylan Denmark. The Hacker Ryan Green with you, guiding you into Thanksgiving and what should be a very interesting weekend, a 4-day weekend for most of us of football beginning tomorrow, 3 NFL games, the Egg Bowl tomorrow night. Obviously, a lot of college games on Friday, 1 NFL game on Friday. Then you have rivalry Saturday in college. And, of course, the big one in Houston, the Jaguars and the Texans on Sunday at 1 o'clock. We are absolutely loaded over the next 2 hours. In the 9 o'clock hour, it's going to be kind of a rekindling, if you will. A couple of my old colleagues, I guess they're still colleagues, just on different shows. My buddies Leon Searcy and Matt Hayes will join me in the 9 o'clock hour. We'll talk to Matt about rivalry Saturday in the world of college football. We'll talk to Leon about the Jaguars and the Texans coming up on Sunday. And the 8 o'clock hour, within the next 60 minutes, actually within the next about 40 minutes, we're going to hear from both Andrew Catalon, the NFL on CBS. Catalon's our guy, right? Jaguar fans are very loyal to Catalon. He has called a lot of Jaguar games over the last few years, and yet this Sunday will be his first game in 2023. He will be on the call for the NFL on CBS, so we'll have Andrew Catalon right here on Hacker After Dark in about 35 minutes or so. Coming up in less than 15 minutes, my friend Cecil Shorts, former Jaguar wide receiver. He also spent some time with the Texans. He still lives in the Houston area, and he does some work for the Texans organization. So I think you'll be very interested to hear from Cecil Shorts about his thoughts on this matchup coming up Sunday at 1 o'clock. So we are loaded. We're with you till 10 o'clock, Jacksonville, and we are certainly glad you are spending part of your Thanksgiving Eve with us. Every night here on Hacker After Dark, we do kick it off with a big deal of the night, and Dylan Denmark. Let's do that right now.
Time now for the big deal of the night.
What's the big deal?
What is the big deal?
No big deal.
It is a big deal.
On Hacker After Dark.
2 big deals, one in the NFL, one in college. Let's begin in the National Football League. I've told you guys all week long. I really even said it on social media Sunday after the Jaguars beat the Titans. I got a good feeling about this game in Houston. You know what this game in Houston kind of is to me? And it's weird because I understand the Texans beat the Jaguars in week 3. I mean, I get it. The Texans looked good in beating the Jaguars in week 3. But I even think that almost adds to my thought process here. Not only is it a revenge factor for the Jaguars, not only is it very hard to beat a good team twice in the same year, but if you listen to people out in Houston, they're doing the Battle Red on Sunday. They're looking at this as an unbelievable opportunity. They're talking division championship out there. This is a big game for the Texans, right? I almost think this game for Houston is the equivalent of what the Jacksonville games were here against Kansas City and San Francisco. Houston's putting a lot of eggs into this basket. They're putting a lot of buildup into this game. And this is their first really big game for a lot of those players. C.J. Stroud, Will Anderson, Tank Dell, Dameon Pierce, if he plays, on down the line. A lot of these guys haven't been in a big game in the NFL. They're too young to have been. And yet, ironically, the Jaguars, who have been awful for 13 out of the last 14 years, basically, 13 out of the last 15 years, they've been in a lot of big games recently. Playoff games last year at Arrowhead, the playoff game against the Chargers, the AFC South championship game against the Titans last year, the Buffalo game in London earlier this year. You could argue the Dallas game last year here in Jacksonville. This Jaguar team has been in a lot of these games. The Texans haven't been. Texans are putting a lot into this game. The Jaguars have the revenge factor on their minds. I think you add all that up, I think the Jaguars, they're back against the wall, right? The narrative nationally, C.J. Stroud is better than Trevor Lawrence. The Texans are the favorite now to win the division. In fact, you had Thursday Night Football. I think everybody on the panel picked Houston to win the division last week. Jacksonville eats stuff like that up. They're good on the road, and they like it when they're the underdog. They like it when they're almost the villain. Houston is the story this week nationally, not Jacksonville, until the ball is kicked off. And I think when the ball is kicked off, I think Jacksonville's going to win pretty easily. Now, again, I've been wrong a lot. I don't like to pat myself on the back too much. But in the last couple of weeks, I've been pretty spot on. I picked San Francisco to beat Jacksonville. It happened. I picked Jacksonville to have one of those big offensive performances against the Titans. It happened. I guess even a blind squirrel finds a nut from time to time, but I've found two of them in the last 2 weeks. And I'm hoping to keep it going because I think Jacksonville wins on Sunday. And quite frankly, I'm not sure if it's a game in the fourth quarter. I think they win by 2 touchdowns, maybe even more. I like Jacksonville a lot. I like the setup. I like how it is going to help them with the build-up in Houston. They're putting a lot of eggs into this basket. And I think Jacksonville is going to put a knot on the Houston Texans come Sunday and take clear control of the AFC South. So that's the NFL portion of the big deal of the night. The college football portion, of course, is in Gainesville on Saturday. Backup quarterback versus backup quarterback. The unfortunate injuries to both Jordan Travis at Florida State and Graham Mertz at Florida have left us with Tate Rodemaker, who made a really interesting comment earlier today. We'll get into that in a moment. And Max Brown. Florida State's better than Florida, even without Jordan Travis. Tate Rodemaker, though, holding court today at a press conference, says that playing in front of 14,000 fans in high school is going to prepare him for the environment Saturday night in Gainesville. What? Do what now? Playing in front of 14,000 people in high school is going to prepare you for an environment like the Swamp on a Saturday night? All right. I don't know about that. And again, Florida fan, I'm talking to you, the fan. I think the program, Napier, the administration, they want to win to get to a bowl game, right? I don't think many of you care about that. At least the ones of you that I know, the ones of you that I've talked to, your sole motivation in life when it comes to Florida State on Saturday night, if you're wearing the orange and blue, is to completely destroy and shatter Florida State's season. To ruin Florida State's season. And a win for the Gators would do that. Not only does it completely salvage your season, but you would essentially knock Florida State out of the college football playoff. They're not going to go to the playoff if they lose a game. I got a feeling the committee is going to have questions about them even if they go undefeated, although I believe if they do go undefeated, even with a backup quarterback, they should still get in. But clearly at this point, if Florida State loses to either Florida or next week to Louisville in the ACC championship game, they're not getting in the college football playoff. So Florida is literally playing on Saturday night to ruin their arch rival season, much like they did back in 1997. Now again, the 97 team, and I've heard comparisons this week, I've even used it myself, the 97 team was a heck of a lot better in Gainesville than the 2023 team. That was an 8-2 Florida team ranked in the top 15 that knocked off Florida State when Doug Johnson hit Jaquez Green and Fred Taylor scored 4 touchdowns that night in Gainesville. But the parallel is similar. An undefeated Seminole team that has everything in front of them. They win out, they're likely going to the playoff. And a Florida team that has been kicked in the mud for the last month has lost 4 in a row. And the only thing the fan base has left is to go to the Swamp on Saturday night and try to help their football team ruin the arch-rival season. It is compelling theater, man. It is what a rivalry game should be. More times than not, an 11-0 team going to play a 5-6 team, you would not give it a second thought. But the intrigue, the storylines, everything surrounding the 2023 version of the Florida State rivalry is just juicy, man. It's a lot of good stuff heading into this game. Having said all that, I think your football team is who your football team is at this point. If Graham Mertz hadn't gotten hurt, I may have leaned Florida because of the Jordan Travis injury. Florida State's better everywhere on the field. They're better everywhere. They have the better lines of scrimmage. They have the much, much better defense. It's not even close. They have the better wide receivers. Running backs, you could argue that. Florida State's got an awful good running game, though. You could argue Florida, but Florida State's got an awfully good running game. And the quarterbacks, to me, are a wash, even though Rodemaker has more experience than Max Brown. Max Brown has never made a start in college football. Rodemaker's at least played a little bit. So you add all that up, I think it's a close game in the fourth quarter, which could be scary for the Noles. But at the end of the day, I can't imagine talent not winning out. The Florida State defense not making a play or two. Maybe Florida doing something stupid like they've been known to do this year. And I think the Seminoles win by a touchdown. I'm not sure if they beat Louisville in the ACC championship game. We'll have that conversation next week. But for the here and now, I like the Jaguars big over the Texans on Sunday. And I'll take the Seminoles in a close one. To beat Florida and to continue their undefeated season at 12-0, heading to the ACC championship game to take on Louisville. Bottom line, it's going to be fantastic. We haven't even talked Michigan, Ohio State. You got Oregon State, the Civil War, the Apple Cup with Washington State, obviously down here. You got good old-fashioned hate in the state of Georgia. You got the Iron Bowl in the state of Alabama. Tomorrow night, the Egg Bowl. Right, you got bragging rights in the conference with Louisville taking on Kentucky, Clemson taking on South Carolina. It is absolutely tremendous, and I cannot wait to soak it all in beginning tomorrow. But before we get there, we got a lot for you up until 10 o'clock tonight here on Hacker After Dark, beginning with my friend Cecil Shorts. He played 7 years in the National Football League, 4 of those years right here in Jacksonville. He also spent some time as a Houston Texan. He still lives in Houston. He does some work for the Texans organization. Let's talk to Cecil about this game on Sunday. Trevor Lawrence versus C.J. Stroud. What is the talk out in Houston about the Jaguars rolling in on Sunday? Jaguar fans, I think you'll find this very interesting. Your former wide receiver, Cecil Shorts. Next on a Wednesday night edition, a Thanksgiving Eve edition of Hacker After Dark.
Put some fun in your Monday.
Something big is going down.
Get entertaining insight on Sunday's games all day Monday.
Oh, this is huge!
Tandy Foods Post-Game Monday. Makers of quality fresh sandwiches and home of the good stuff on 1010XL.
Save big, big, big at Key Buick GMC, like $14,500 off all new GMC trucks. Need some low APR rates? Key Buick GMC has them. 0.9% for 36 months, 3.3% for 48 months, 4.3% for 60 months, 5.75% for 72 months. No payments up to 120 days. As always, whenever you purchase a brand new vehicle from Key Buick GMC, it comes with the lifetime powertrain warranty. Across the street from Tinseltown, Southside and Gate.
Hey, Matt Hayes here. Expert Automotive is now open at our brand new state-of-the-art facility on St. John's Bluff Road. As always, every repair comes with a lifetime service repair warranty. Come celebrate our grand reopening by getting a free AC inspection, $50 off any repair, $199 brake specials, and free diagnostics all month long. Call 374-3373 or visit us at our new location at 2190 St. John's Bluff Road. Expert Automotive. We never sell greed, only what you need.
The best time of the year for blue crabs right now at the Blue Crab Crab House. They've been open since 1996, and they are a staple here in Duval. Sundays, you have the Bloody Mary specials, mimosas as well, $2.50 noon until 5 o'clock. Of course, each and every Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oysters. Right off of San Jose on Julington Creek Road, it is the Blue Crab Crab House.
Lee Smith here, new executive director of the Players Championship. It's no secret 1010 listeners have been great supporters of the Players, and we want to say thank you with some preferred pricing on your tickets for the 2024 Players. Just visit the Players Ticketmaster page and use the promo code 904 to purchase up to 4 stadium passes or Intercoastal Club tickets per day and enjoy preferred pricing. This offer is only good November 16th through the 28th. We'll see you at the Players.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On November 22, 1998, John Elway joins Dan Marino as the only players with 50,000 yards as the Broncos post a 40-14 victory over the Raiders.
Ever wonder how you can transform your living spaces into captivating works of art? At First Coast Lighting and Fans, they offer a huge selection of high-quality products to match your desire for elegance, quality, and uniqueness. Visit their showroom on Phillips Highway at the Avenues and step into a world of quality without compromise. Discover the difference that locally owned expertise makes and let them help you experience the transformation from average to extraordinary. At First Coast Lighting and Fans.
Visionaries, builders, and doers. Are you ready to change the world? Miller Electric is your opportunity to shape the future. Miller Electric is leading the charge in electric vehicle technology with our state-of-the-art EV Innovation Design Center. We're working to create a sustainable future. We're also the proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars, powering their performance at the brand new Miller Electric Center. Miller Electric, we provide competitive pay, unbeatable benefits. Apply today. MillerCareers.com. Miller Electric, an equal opportunity employer.
What airline is now allowing their male pilots to wear makeup, paint their nails, and carry handbags?
When you call Southern Oak and file a claim, you'll be handled by our hand-picked vendors who will analyze any roof, storm, or water damage. It'll save money for you.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
British Airways has introduced new uniform policies, allowing their male pilots to wear makeup, paint their nails, and carry a purse.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
The IRS has just received $80 billion in funding to hire additional agents for aggressive collections enforcement. If you owe the IRS, now is the time to take action before the IRS comes after you or your business. There's no time to waste. Call J. David Tax Law, a firm right here in Jacksonville, for a no-cost consultation at 904-507-4777. That's 904-507-4777. Or visit jdavidtaxlaw.com. Peace of mind is only a click or phone call away.
Frank Franzi here for Stanley Pools. There's a reason so many of my friends and our listeners have had Stanley Pools build their pools and now maintain their pools, because Stanley Pools truly cares about their customers. Stanley Pools is locally owned and has been serving our community for 35 years. For all of your pool needs, call Stanley Pools at 269-7277. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools. 269-7277, or find them online at stanleypoolsfl.com. Performancepainting.com.
Does your home or building need painting? For over 20 years, Performance Painting has had the privilege of preserving many of Jacksonville's most prominent buildings. That said, we feel like we're just getting started. I'm Jason Parker, and our team thrives on preparing, protecting, and preserving the homes, businesses, and public buildings that make up our local landscape. Contact us today to put our years of experience to work for you. Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting. 1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Let's ring up another guest on the All-Pro Roofing phone line.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville on this Thanksgiving Eve, and we are glad you are with us. Sunday at 1 o'clock, the Jaguars and the Houston Texans out in Houston with first place on the AFC South on the line. Let's talk to a guy that joins us every week. He's a former Jaguar. He's also a former Houston Texan. That's my friend Cecil Shorts. He's always kind enough to join us here on 1010XL. Cecil, how are you, my friend?
I'm good, man. Excited for this week. Should be a fun one and a big one.
Cecil, we're going to break down the Jaguars and the Texans. I know you do a lot of work with the Texans. You obviously have a lot of ties here in Jacksonville. But a quick review of last Sunday. Boy, talk about getting back on track after a humiliating loss to San Francisco. Good grief, the Jaguars really put one on the Titans last Sunday.
Yeah, and it was they kind of jumped on them early and never looked back, so I think it's a sign of a good team when you're able to bounce back from a tough loss. It's not a good leadership when you're able to bounce back from that tough loss and go out there and put up a bunch of points and shut them down pretty much the whole entire game. So it was a good comeback win after that debacle against the 49ers. But there were some things that I think that needs to be. They showed they show that they can have, I guess, really put as a pop on offense. But there's still some things there on third down they have to figure out. You can't be 4-12. You got to be more consistent when it comes to that. But for those guys to go out there and play well, for really to go out there and play well, they have Zay Jones back. Even though he only had 4, I think he caught 3 out of his 4 targets, but to have him back out there as an option is a huge deal moving forward. He looked healthy playing too. So when you get back on the winning track, you're 7-3. I believe you're a 3 seed right now in the AFC. You're in good position. You're in good position. You put that game behind you and move forward.
Cecil, you are the perfect guy to ask. You played wide receiver in the league for 7+ years. All right, Calvin Ridley's arguably his 4 best games are the 4 games that Zay Jones has played. Right, Zay Jones, I believe, only had 4 grabs for 20 yards. Yet his presence out there was a big deal, and it seems like every time he plays, Calvin Ridley flourishes. What is the reasoning for that?
The defense respects Zay Jones' playmaking ability. They understand when you have Zay, when you have Christian, and you have Calvin, you have to play more of an honest defense. So it's not by coincidence that when he's out there that Calvin's going off. This is something that is designed. This is something that is going to continue to help Calvin, because now you're not only those 3, you got Evan Ingram in the slot as well. So Zay brings a different dynamic when he's on the field, and his touches and his plays will come as we saw in week 1 this year, but his plays will come as he gets more acclimated to being back out there. But that's no mistake, Ryan. Like when he's out there, he can be a threat. You have to respect what he can do, and that just makes the defense play more of a true defense. And now Calvin has his one-on-ones and his matchup that he likes, and when he's one-on-one, it's hard to stop. He's one of the better guys in the league.
Former Jaguar wide receiver Cecil Shorts here with us on 1010XL in Jacksonville. Cecil, Trevor Lawrence last week, coming off what he admitted was probably his worst game of his career against San Francisco, became the first Jaguar in almost 30 years of franchise history to throw for 2 touchdowns and run for 2 touchdowns in the same game. I was personally shocked that none of your quarterbacks did that from the years of 2011 to 2014. But Trevor Lawrence did. I mean, what does that say to Trevor to be able to respond in a fashion like that?
Well, oh, man, you always throw some shots at my quarterbacks.
I kid because I care, Cecil.
Trevor's big time, man. people can say what they want. Trevor is big time, and I think even though I mentioned the third down woes, this is one of the more complete games on the offensive side that they had this year. It was because of him finding the guys open. I think the OC did a great job of mixing the plays up, so you didn't know if it was a run, if it was a short pass, if they were taking a shot down the field. So they did a great job of that. But Trevor was on fire. He was hitting all his reads. He did a good job going through his progressions. And Trevor is a generational talent. Like, I know it was some you mentioned it maybe 2 weeks ago going into the 49ers game that people were on Twitter or X, whatever you call it, or going saying, hey, we'd rather have this quarterback than Trevor, or this quarterback than Trevor. Trevor is the dude. Like, Trevor can play. Like, don't get it twisted. So there's no surprise that he had that success last week. And it shows his leadership. It shows his capabilities. It shows that he's not rattled, right? Even though he's still, to me, he's still a younger quarterback in the league. And he's able to bounce back like he did after that performance from San Francisco. And all week he was talking to the media. He wasn't worried about the offense. He wasn't worried. Like, he's confident. He has this confidence about him, and he went out there and put on the show. And I think the rest of the season, he'll continue. If he can be consistent, he'll continue to put on the show and be great.
All right, Cecil, Sunday afternoon, let's get to it. The 7-3 Jaguars, the 6-4 Texans. You played for both organizations. You still live and reside and do work in the Houston community with the Texans. Give our fans here in Jacksonville kind of a feel of what the talk is out there in Houston going into this game.
Ooh, man. So really, really, really riding this offensive rookie of the year, offensive rookie of the year, MVP type talk from CJ Stroud. You hear a lot of D'Amico Ryans coach of the year. The city is riding high right now because the Texans have them excited. They're playing good ball. They beat some tough teams. They are, I believe, on a 2-game winning streak right now. But they're in all of the games they're playing. Like, they're in it. And their quarterback is leading the way. So they're excited. I think right now they're sitting at number 6 seed in the playoffs. And this game, as you know, is a huge one because the implications are you take control of the AFC South. Yeah, you got Indianapolis, I think, hover around 5-5 and still in the hunt. But if Houston can beat Jacksonville and go 2-0 against Jacksonville, now you take over probably the 3 seed right away. Because now you're both 7-4 and you beat Jacksonville twice. So you're hosting as of right now. If you win that game, you would host a home playoff game. So the implication on this game is huge right now. You're going to take over the AFC South, and you're in the driver's seat. And the Texans fans are feeling it. They're feeling that football feeling coming back. They're getting that excitement again because for a while there was nothing but mess here. It was Deshaun Watson debacle. It was this head coach is out, that head coach is out. Who's the quarterback going to be? Now you have a guy that's making everybody around him better. Now you have a guy that you never feel like you're out of a game of. Now you have playmakers on the offensive side. You have playmakers on the defensive side. And to be honest, CJ didn't play his best game last week, throwing 3 picks, 2 of them being in the red zone when they were driving the ball down the field. Kind of showed the youth on the offensive side, but also showed that they're still a good team because the defense found ways to get stops and stop Kyler Murray and make plays at the end of the game when they needed to. So as a team, they're playing really, really well right now. So it's going to be a fun matchup when Jacksonville comes to town Sunday.
A couple of more for former Jaguar and former Texan Cecil Shorts. He's with us every week here on Hacker After Dark. Cecil, let me give you a couple of talking points in our area and get your thoughts on them. Number 1, the Jaguars will be the first team to see C.J. Stroud twice. Will that matter on Sunday?
Yes. I think CJ is different than what he was in week 3, I believe, or week 4 when the Texans came to town. I think he's more confident. I think he's more experienced. I think he is a different quarterback. I think that was the game he started to really understand, okay, get some confidence, build some things. And now he is probably 3-4 times better than what he was in week 3. So he's a different quarterback, and this will be a good step for him. But also, I think looking at the last game, Jacksonville got 0 sacks on C.J. Stroud last week. Not a lot of pressure on C.J. Stroud. They did a great job stopping the run. but also the team for Houston right now, they're able to run the ball. 2 weeks ago, they ran for 150 yards. Last week, they had a rusher for 150 yards. I think it was 170 something total. Last week, they rushed for about a $150 as a team. I think Devin Singletary had like 112, close to 120 yards himself. They're running the ball better. That's what's opening up everything on the offensive side of the ball for them. So it's gonna be a tough matchup. But I think CJ's better than what they've seen the very first time. So I think it is a big difference.
You know, CJ Stroud has been dynamic. There's no question about that. Although you alluded to it last week, Cecil, against Arizona, and he started to see it a little bit in some other games. He's starting to throw some picks. All right, not a lot, but he wasn't throwing any picks in the first month and a half. And he's starting to throw some picks. These D coordinators are smart, man. I mean, they get paid big bucks for a reason. Mike Caldwell is a good defensive coordinator, and I just wonder, with the Jaguars being the first team from their perspective to see him twice, if maybe they know some of his tendencies now a little bit, like it appears some defensive coaches are beginning to figure out.
That's a great point. I think you can see some film because you played them week 3 or I can't. This is week 3 or week 4.
Yeah, it was week 3. Yeah, week 3.
Week 3. So now you got about 6, 7, 8 games of film on him. So you can see his tendencies. You can see what he likes to do, and you can even see it in Arizona when he forced some things or he got some pressure on him. He kind of one of his interceptions he threw to the long side of the field off his back foot because he felt pressure coming from up the middle. So if you can find ways to get pressure on him, if you can find ways to mix the coverages up, I think you can possibly confuse him a little bit. But I'm not gonna lie to you, CJ is playing at a very, very high level right now, and the mistakes he made, they can tell they were young mistakes, but he was driving them down the field. The game should have been 35-16. They should have scored at least 2 touchdowns in that red zone last week against Arizona. But Jacksonville, you got the pass rushers. They got to get to them. You got the linebackers. They got to get to them. So you got to mix the coverages up and try to confuse them. But it's going to be a tough task. But I think this game is going to be back and forth. I really, really do. So it's going to be exciting to see.
Final moments here with Cecil Shorts. He's with us every week here on Hacker After Dark. Cecil, it's no coincidence either, and it's no longer a trend. I mean, it's kind of who this team is. Jacksonville likes being the afterthought, right? They like being the team that nobody's talking about. I've watched all the shows nationally. I'm sure you have too. It's C.J. Stroud this and C.J. Stroud that, and he's better than Trevor Lawrence, and D'Amico's going to win Coach of the Year, and the Texans are the biggest surprise in the league, and the Battle Red on Sunday in Houston, and no one's really talking about Jacksonville. And if I'm Doug Peterson, that is just salivating me. I mean, I think Doug Peterson and this staff loves the fact that that's going on right now.
Well, listen, number one, we talked about it last week. They love playing on the road. Talking about the Jaguars. They excel when they play on the road this year. And I think, like you said, they're going to use that to their advantage. Nobody is talking about Jacksonville. If you look at ESPN, Stephen A. Smith doesn't believe in Trevor Lawrence for whatever the reason. There's other people. Nobody's talking about him. All the pressure, all the anticipation, all the excitement is on the young NFL team, which is the Houston Texans. So I think coming into this game on Sunday, like you said, it's Battle Reds, all this stuff. When you're a young team and you're just now learning how to win, that's what I think the Texans are. They're learning how to win. They're learning how to handle all the noise, all the praise they're getting right now, right? CJ said it last week, hey, y'all love me one week, y'all probably going to hate me the next week. And that's the truth. That's how it works. You threw 3 picks last week, so now they're going to criticize the interceptions. So in my mind, I think I'm with you. I think Doug's going to get these guys fired up. They're going to come in off a big win last week. They're going to come in rolling. They have nothing to lose. They're like, hey, nobody's talking about us. They don't expect us to win. They have to come in. They're going to come in with a big chip on their shoulder, and they're going to play well on Sunday. And I think they're more experienced, right? They've been to the playoffs. They won a playoff game. I just think they're more able to handle these type of conditions when it comes to big games, right? This is probably the biggest game. You could argue it's the biggest game of what week is it? Week 12. It's probably the biggest game of week 12 this week. Fighting for the AFC South on the driver's seat. So I think they have a leg up, when it comes to handling the environment, handling big games, playing on the road, which they love to do. And it's really, honestly, and it's weird, I feel like there's no pressure on Jacksonville right now. All the talk everything is about D'Amico and CJ and the Texans and this and Tank Dell and all this stuff. And it's like Jacksonville's quietly 7-3, quietly in the lead of the division right now. And they go in there and they handle business on Sunday. They're in the driver's seat, and they should continue that momentum and keep rolling.
You know, what's absolutely crazy to me, and you mentioned it, and it's the definition of irony, the Jaguars were awful for the last, better part of the last 5 years, and really 12 out of the last 13 years. Yet, in the last year and a half, they have played in a lot of big games. They have played in a lot of big moments. Kansas City last year, the Chargers last year, the Titans in that division championship game last year. So it sounds weird to say, but the much more tested team, much more, in a big game environment will certainly be Jacksonville on Sunday.
And that stuff matters. Like, to have that experience in those big games, you're not going to press. You're going to continue to play the same way you play, right? You're not going to press. Like, Trevor's not going to press or force a ball in the fourth quarter or first quarter or third quarter. He's going to continue to play and let the game come to him. Whereas you've seen last week, some of CJ, he was trying to press a little bit in the red zone. He was trying to force this pass here, just because of the experience, right? And you, as a young team, you can't let all that noise bother you or hype you up or get you excited. You have to stay even keel. And I think Jacksonville has the leg up. I honestly do when it comes to that. So when they come in here, they're not going to worry about what color they got on or the fans going crazy or what we got going on the sideline. They're going to be focused on the game at hand and enjoying it and playing at a high level.
Is this a weird week for you? I mean, a huge game with two teams that you used to play for in the same division. I mean, where are you at this week heading into this game?
It's definitely weird because I spent most of my career in Jacksonville. Nothing but love for Jacksonville. Students still know pretty much everybody in the business office and on the radio and the whole nine, right? I'm going to see Shadrack before the game and everybody else. So it's nothing but love, but it's just weird because I played and then now I'm working for the Texans, right? So I do do a lot of stuff for the Texans as far as during the game and then prepping for the game and stuff like that. So it's definitely weird every single time they play each other. Honestly, my heart probably still goes with Jacksonville, and always want Jacksonville to win secretly. I can't say that when I'm in the building. But I just been there longer, man. Like when you've been somewhere for 4 years and you've given your all and you've been in the community, you've lived there, and you're just a certain love I have for Jacksonville that would never go away. So it's always weird. We're always kind of lean towards Jacksonville.
Cecil Shorts here with us. Cecil, final question. Won't ask you to give a prediction, right? I don't want to put you on the spot with two of your favorite teams. But what type of game is it? I mean, what do you think the type of game we see on Sunday? How do you think it goes down?
You know what? I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be a playoff-like atmosphere. I think it's going to be a physical game, more of a physical game than I think anticipated. I think it's really going to come down to which defense can get pressure on the quarterback, which defense can stop the run. You know what I mean? Can the front seven of Jacksonville get to CJ and confuse them? Can the front seven of Houston, who's been playing actually really well, get to Trevor and slow down that run game with Travis? So it's gonna be interesting. I think it'll be hard fought. I do not think it's going to be extremely high scoring. I could be wrong, but I think it's going to be somewhere in the 24-21 range. I think it's going to go all the way down to the fourth quarter. And I think it's going to go back and forth. I honestly do. So I'm looking forward to it, man. I cannot wait for it. I think it's going to be one of the best games of the week. And I wouldn't be surprised if they see each other again come playoff time. So I'm really looking forward to it, man. So, I'm going to give a prediction. I'm going to give one. Is that okay?
Sure, absolutely.
I'm going to give one. I'm going to say that Jacksonville wins 24-21 with a last-second field goal to win it. I think it's going to be a tough. Oh, no, I take that back. 27-24. 27-24. I think it's going to be a tough game. I think it's going to come down to the end who gets the ball last. For whatever the reason, at the end of games, it seems like if you have a decent quarterback, the defense just lets you dink and dunk all the way down the field. So I truly think that Jacksonville wins it by a field goal in a close, tough AFC South matchup.
And the winner on Sunday is in first place in the AFC South. Cecil Shorts. Cecil, can't thank you enough. A very happy Thanksgiving to you and your family, my friend. We appreciate you every single week. We'll review next week, and we'll preview Monday Night Football, making its return to Jacksonville for the first time in over a decade when the Bengals roll in here the first Monday in December. Thank you, my friend.
Oh, no problem. Happy Thanksgiving to you too, brother.
There you go. Cecil Shorts is with us every week here on Hacker After Dark. And, yeah, it's interesting. Former Jaguar and a former Texan. You can tell he's kind of split this week, but he does like Jacksonville to win it by a field goal. You'll hear the game. Frank Frangie, Tony Baselli, Jeff Lageman on the call here on 1010XL on the radio. On the television side, the NFL on CBS, we finally got our guy, Jaguar fans. Andrew Catalon. We had him for years, seemingly every week. Unfortunately for us, and because I like Catalon, he hasn't done a Jaguar game all year until now. Andrew Catalon will be on the call for the television side alongside Matt Ryan and Tiki Barber. Let's talk to Andrew Catalon of CBS about the Jaguars and the Texans coming up on Sunday. He's next. Hacker After Dark on a Thanksgiving Eve here in Jacksonville, Florida. And as always, we are glad you are with us.
1010XL brings you the orange and blue.
Touchdown, Gators!
The Gators chomp the chop in the swamp. Florida State, Saturday at 7 on Jacksonville's home of Florida Gators football. 1010XL.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's finally here. Beaver's annual Black Friday silent sale. Every car on the lot will be discounted so low, we can't even show the prices on TV. Doors open at 6 a.m. Friday. First come, first served. And once they're gone, it's over. Plus, anyone who buys between 6 and 9 a.m. will get a big screen TV and $1,000 cash. Want more? We're giving away free oil changes between 6 and 9 a.m. The Black Friday silent sale only at Beaver Toyota and Beaver Chevrolet. You don't want to miss this.
Whether you are looking for a job or an employer trying to hire, there's only one stop in Jacksonville, Remedy Staffing. Labor trends keep us guessing. As employers, the job market has been strong. So what does that mean for workers' availability? If you're interested in the workforce solutions or how the Remedy team can help you, call or text Crystal at 904-329-9802. 329-9802, Remedy Staffing.
This holiday season, sit back and enjoy your time with family and friends. But if you have relatives who always point out the stains in your garage, or friends who talk about the cracks in your patio, we're here to help. Shark Coatings can coat your garage, patio, or driveway before those folks come over for holiday dinner. So now, instead of politics and religion, you can talk about how Shark Coatings transformed your home before the pumpkin pie is served. Shark Coatings, we're ready when you are.
It doesn't get any better than live country music. Enjoy Daryl Ray at Players Grill Miramar this Friday at 7 p.m. with discount cocktails while the local star rocks out. Players Grill Miramar, where the neighborhood meets.
This is my bar.
Fish are good at hiding. Captain Kevin can help you find them.
Oh yeah, that's a big one.
Find more fish on the Ring Power Fishing Forecast Show.
Thursday nights at 6.
Brought to you by Awaken 180 Weight Loss on 1010XL AM.
The biggest, baddest rock experience in the United States is here. Welcome to Rockville with Foo Fighters.
It's times like these, lovely.
Motley Crue. Slipknot. Disturbed.
Come on, get down with the sickness.
Jelly Roll.
And I only talk to God when I need a favor.
Limp Bizkit. Queens of the Stone Age. And Breaking Benjamin, Evanescence, Cypress Hill, Blackville Bronze, A Day to Remember, Anthrax, In This Moment, Primus, Stone Temple Pilots, Tech Nine, and Judas Priest, plus so many more. Welcome to Rockville. 4 days, 5 stages, and 150 bands. May 9th through the 12th at Daytona International Speedway. Passes and camping on sale now at welcometorockville.com.
I'm Jeff Middlecoff with Trustline Mortgage. My business partners, Alan Tyre, Bill Pappas, and Ken Rimley, have been helping first-time homebuyers with their mortgage financing all over Florida for 34 years. First-time homebuyers can get no or low down payments, anywhere from 0 to 3.5% down. As a first-time homebuyer with Trustline Mortgage, you get added benefits for doing your loan with us, like lower rates on your mortgage insurance and lower closing costs. Oh, and did I forget to mention that Trustline gives first-time homebuyers better mortgage interest rates? Here's the bottom line. Trustline Mortgage wants to help first-time homebuyers accomplish your goal of home ownership. That's why Trustline Mortgage is offering the best first-time homebuyer benefits around, period. Trustline Mortgage delivers with no and low down payments, lower closing costs, and better interest rates. Call Trustline Mortgage today at 381-LOAN. Yes, 381-LOAN to find out how we can help you buy your dream home. Or visit our website at trustlinemortgage.com. Trust your instincts and follow the line to Trustline Mortgage.
Certain restrictions apply. See office for details. Trustline is an equal housing opportunity. MLS number 331480.
Hey, it's Angela and Brian Wall. How many companies do you know in this day and age that actually want their potential customers to call their competition and get quotes from them?
That's what WindoWorld wants you to do. WindoWorld knows there are other window companies out there, but we also know those other guys. When compared to WindoWorld, they can't offer you the quality at the price that WindoWorld can.
And with WindoWorld, you get the absolute best guarantee there is in the window replacement business.
If anything goes wrong with your new WindoWorld windows, 5 years from now, 10, 15, 50, WindoWorld and I will be there to fix it for you. You get peace of mind with WindoWorld, and to top it off, WindoWorld windows increase the value of your home. So look what you get with WindoWorld. Quality windows, low price, the best guarantee in the business, energy savings, and an increase in the value of your home. A win-win for you.
Call Window World today and get your free in-home estimate, or see them online at windowworldneflorida.com.
Window World, simply the best for less. Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors.
Toilet or shower not draining? Water bill high? So many issues you want to cry? Call Mr. Rooter of Jacksonville. Have your number 2 business serviced by your number 1 plumber. Let us do your dirty work. Call us today.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Let's ring up another guest on the All-Pro Roofing phone line.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville, we are glad you are with us. The Jaguars and the Texans, Sunday at 1 o'clock. Of course, on the radio, you'll hear it right here on 1010XL, your home for the Jacksonville Jaguars. On the television side, you will see it on CBS, and an old friend is calling his first Jaguar game of the year, Andrew Catalon of the NFL on CBS, on the call this week, and Andrew joins us here on 1010XL. Andrew, it's been a while, man. How are you?
Ryan, how you been, man? Happy Thanksgiving to you.
Hey, buddy, I appreciate it, man. All right, we haven't had you call a Jaguar game in a while. Just your thoughts on the 7-3 start for the Jaguars this season.
Yeah, I think that if I'm a Jaguars fan, I'm pretty happy with where we are right now. I mean, I know the San Francisco loss didn't look good or feel good, but they've won 6 of 7 since losing to the Texans. You look at the conference in the AFC, they're in a good position. Obviously a big game against Houston, but I think you can make a really good case that the Jags and the Texans will both make the playoffs this year. But I think there's a lot to like. Sure, 3 losses. I know that the national thought might be, hey, they lost to Kansas City, they lost to San Francisco. Why can't they beat some of these bigger teams? I take the opposite side to that. If somebody told you before the year the Jags would be 7-3 after 10 games, I think most people would sign up for it. And I like their chances moving forward.
There's no question about that. It was interesting, Andrew. I mean, a 1-2 start, which the second loss came to these Houston Texans back in week 3, and Houston came into Jacksonville and pushed them around pretty good. And yet, like you said, since that moment, 6 out of 7, including wins over Buffalo, a first-place New Orleans team. Indianapolis is 5-3 against teams not named Jacksonville. So the narrative nationally is the Jaguars haven't beaten anybody. I would push back on that a little bit. I think Buffalo, New Orleans, and to an extent Indianapolis are pretty good wins.
Yeah, and Ryan, bottom line, what does that matter? I mean, you play the teams on your schedule, and you go from there. It doesn't change how I feel about Trevor Lawrence and Doug Peterson and this defense. if and when they get to the playoffs. I mean, yeah, they didn't look great against the Niners. All right, a lot of people don't look good against the Niners. Teams are entitled to have a bad day. I think you look around the league and you can make a case that every team has, had a bad day. I mean, the Eagles' only loss was against the Jets. I mean, these things happen. So, again, I think that the Jaguars have a lot to look forward to. Obviously, huge game Sunday, but a lot in front of them for Jacksonville.
Andrew Catalon, the NFL on CBS. He'll be on the call Sunday for the Jaguars and the Texans. Andrew, let's briefly talk about Houston. Maybe the biggest surprise in the NFL. C.J. Stroud doing things that rookie quarterbacks are not supposed to be doing. DeMeco Ryans doing things that rookie head coaches are not supposed to be doing. Your thoughts on the Texans so far?
Yeah, it's really impressive, Ryan. I mean, look, I don't think a lot of people, myself included, thought they'd be in this position with a first-year head coach and a rookie QB. All the credit to them and what they finally got going here. It's been a while. I've done a lot of games in that building, and I can't remember the last time it was really rocking. I think it's going to be an awesome atmosphere for football on Sunday, and you got to give them a lot of credit for what they've done. Contributions up and down the roster. I mean, Tank Dell is coming off a big game for them. You look at their defense and their rookie first-round pick, Will Anderson, is starting to make some plays. And it just seems like the energy has changed. You go there the last couple years, and look, they haven't been good, but also it seemed like the fans were kind of indifferent to what they were seeing in that building. That's not the case anymore, and I think that'll create a really good game on Sunday.
You look at the AFC South as a whole, Andrew. Coming into the year, it was thought it might be the worst division in football. If it wasn't, it was the second worst behind the NFC South. And yet, Indianapolis, 5-5, even with the backup quarterback. Houston would be in the playoffs if they started today. Jacksonville would be in the playoffs if they started today. Clearly, it appears the South is surpassing some expectations.
Yeah, no doubt. And I look at the quarterbacks in the division as well, and obviously Richardson is out, and I think Gardner's done a really good job there. But, you can make a really strong case that, for the foreseeable future, these teams are stacked at QB with Trevor and Stroud and Richardson. And, I think Will Levis has a chance with the Titans. We didn't see it last week, and we haven't really seen it since that one game against Atlanta. But as we saw, he has no protection up front. The Tennessee offensive line is just in shambles right now. So I think that Levis has a chance. We just haven't really seen it yet. So I think not only is the division surpassed expectations this season, but I think there's a lot to look forward to with these QBs going forward for the next 5-10 years.
A couple of more for Andrew Catalon. He'll be on the call on CBS Sunday when the Jaguars face off against the Houston Texans. I was thinking about this earlier in the week. Maybe a little bit Jim Kelly, Dan Marino back in the day. They overlap certainly in the same division. But you think about the good quarterback rivalries. You go right to Peyton and Tom Brady, but they weren't in the same division, right? Joe Burrow and Mahomes are not in the same division. And I'm not saying Stroud and Lawrence is anything near that yet, but Lawrence is 24, Stroud's 22. You could argue both guys are probably among the top 10, 12 quarterbacks in the league this year. I mean, Andrew, this has the potential for the next decade to be really something between Stroud and Lawrence.
I couldn't agree more. And look, I mean, obviously the Jaguars and the Titans, have some bad blood, but I always think of this matchup, Jacksonville and Houston, and all the battles over the years, and I've seen a lot of them, whether it was that huge sack day week 1. I mean, I can go back and forth to some of the moments in this rivalry and series, and I think that the next chapter, if you will, with Trevor and CJ could really be something special. And I totally agree with your comparison with Kelly and Marino. I mean, in the same division. And again, throw in Richardson and maybe Levis. I think it's going to be a lot of fun in the AFC South for a lot of years to come.
The winner of this game on Sunday will be in first place in the AFC South. Andrew, you look at the AFC as a whole, and my goodness, I mean, Baltimore is now the 1 seed at 8-3. And then you got a host of teams, Kansas City, Jacksonville, Miami, Cleveland, all at 7-3. Pittsburgh and Houston, 6-4. The Bills certainly in the mix. I mean, the AFC right now is a jumbled mess, but it's going to be a lot of fun over the next 2 months.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I still like Baltimore. as that 1 seed. But Mark Andrews' injury is big. I mean, that is a huge loss for the Ravens, and we'll see how they compensate for that. But, I think you can make a case for all the teams you mentioned. I think Miami is a team nobody's going to want to play in the playoffs. I think Jacksonville getting hot at the right time, and they're going to be a team that nobody wants to see. Chiefs are always going to be there. I think that the Bills are the one team that I had high expectations for going into the year that they're not the same. And I think a lot of it's because of the injuries on the defensive side of the ball. Milano, White, Daquan Jones. I mean, they're really missing those guys. But again, who wants to play Josh Allen in the playoffs? So totally agree with you, Ryan. It's going to be a great fight to the finish to see how the seeding shakes out. And then I think you can make a case for all the teams that get in the AFC.
Quickly, Andrew, in the NFC, just at the top of the conference, it appears 4 teams, right? It appears to be in whatever order you want to put them in: Philadelphia, Dallas, Detroit, San Francisco. Anybody else in the NFC, or are those the 4 that are going to fight it out?
Yeah, I saw Seattle last Sunday in Los Angeles against the Rams, and that was a tough loss for the Seahawks because they have a really tough schedule coming up. They got to play San Francisco 2 of the next 3, and they squeeze in Dallas in between. So, you could have told me that the Seahawks with Geno Smith and DK Metcalf and an emerging defense, I'm not going to count them out, but that was a real tough one, and now they have a quick turnaround on Thursday night against the Niners. So I think you nailed it with those teams. It's going to be tough to get by Philly. I think they're really good. We saw that against the Chiefs on Monday night, and I think that they're certainly the team to beat. But, the Lions are playing pretty good football, and the 49ers are always tough with Kyle Shanahan. So I think it'll be probably one of those 3, throw in the Cowboys 4. Seattle right now on the outside looking in for me.
Final moments with Andrew Catalon. He'll be on the call. Jaguars-Texans this Sunday, 1 o'clock on CBS. Andrew, I'm interested. I know you and I have talked about this in the past. You're a professional broadcaster. You do not have a dog in the fight. You're as objective as they come. But Jacksonville is a very loyal city, right? And I don't know if you get this reaction other places, but when CBS announced the announcers for the game on Sunday, people were messaging me to have you on saying we finally got our guy Catalon for the first time. I think people associate the Jaguars and you because, let's face it, you called a lot of games where the Jaguars were just awful. And I think people are used to hearing your voice on Jaguar games. And quite frankly, they've kind of missed the fact that Andrew Catalon has not called a game this year. Do you get that in any other market that you cover?
Not more than Jacksonville. I appreciate it, Ryan. Thank you for saying that, and I appreciate it from the fans down there in Duval. I mean, there's no doubt when I get this assignment or other Jaguars assignments in the past, I hear the most about it on Twitter from Jaguars fans. And, I think you're right. Look, we saw a lot of bad football together, and the Jags are probably the team that I've announced the most in my time at CBS, and there's definitely a connection to going back to those days, whether it was Gus Bradley or Doug Marrone and Blake. I mean, I could go on, but I think when you struggle and you see some glimpses, maybe that's the connection there. But there's no doubt that I feel it, and I certainly appreciate it.
Finally, Andrew, for people that haven't watched you this year yet, you're calling your first Jaguar game. A new broadcast booth for you, right? A couple of new partners. What can people expect on Sunday when they tune in?
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun, Ryan. I mean, I think Matt Ryan has done a great job coming right off the field with no experience and just walking right into the booth is a natural. And I think that especially for a matchup on Sunday where the quarterbacks are at the center of attention, he'll provide some great insight. And, with a 3-man booth, you have to have selfless people. You have to have people with no ego. And Tiki's right in that mix too with Matt and the 3 of us. I mean, nobody's kind of counting who talks more or who gets in more or who does the telestrator more. And I think that makes for a fun listen. So we've had a really good run. We've seen a lot of NFC teams, which has been strange, probably because of the 2 of them playing in the NFC for so long. But it's been a great ride, and we're looking forward, along with A.J. Ross, to another fun one on Sunday. I think it's arguably the game of the week in the NFL.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt. First place on the line, Jaguars and Texans. Of course, you'll get it on the radio side here on 1010XL, the television side with our guy Andrew Catalon, along with Tiki Barber and Matt Ryan there on CBS. Andrew, it's been far too long, brother. Always appreciate you joining us here in Jacksonville. Have a great call on Sunday. A very happy Thanksgiving to you and your family, and we'll do it again soon.
You got it, Ryan. Right back at you. Thanks for having me on.
They say the tape doesn't lie, and Jeff Lageman translates the truth.
I'm your tape translator, Jeff Lageman, on Check the Tape Tuesday on Jaguars Today.
Brought to you by Mr. Sparky of the First Coast, your on-time electrician on 1010XL.
Tease the season at Edwin Watts Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf for holiday specials this year. Featuring the Callaway Paradigm Woods, forged carbon for unparalleled distance and forgiveness. Now up to $100 off. And from Bushnell, the new Tour V6 Series laser rangefinders provide you the most accurate distances in golf. There's always gift cards in any amount for the special golfer you're shopping for. Edwin Watts Golf Shops is home with a 90-day satisfaction guarantee. Shop us in store or online at worldwidegolf.com.
Dell's Black Friday event is their biggest sale of the year. Shop limited time deals on laptops like the stylish, innovative XPS 13, engineered to do it all on the Intel Evo platform. Plus, save big on ultra-sharp monitors and top brand accessories. It's the perfect time to upgrade any home, business, or gaming setup powered by Intel Core processors. Shop now at Dell.com/deals to take advantage of huge savings and free shipping. Again, that's Dell.com/deals.
Here's your 1010XL First Coast Community Calendar.
The Tom Coughlin J Fund helps families battling childhood cancer, and there are ways you can help. Go to tcjfund.org.
City Rescue Mission has been providing food, clothing, and love for over 70 years to the homeless in Jacksonville. If someone you know is struggling, learn more about the City Rescue Mission at crmjax.org.
You have healing power. Even writing a letter or volunteering can help heal a veteran. Find out more at healvets.org.
If you know someone with cancer and no insurance, call the U.S. Uninsured Helpline at 800-234-1317.
Hope Haven believes in children and youth with special needs and abilities and has developed programs to help ensure their success. Find out more about their employment services and internship program at hope-haven.org.
If you're involved in a community event and you'd like us to help spread the word, find out how at 1010XL.com.
I'm Tom Coughlin, founder of the J Fund Foundation. Every year we ask for your help, and every year you come through. Your generosity helps local families tackle childhood cancer.
And I'm Dan Hicken. We're asking you to please be there November 29th for the J Fund Radiothon here on 1010XL. Or you can send your gift of $100 right now. Text GOAL to 243-725.
Thank you for supporting the J Fund on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
WJXL FM, Jacksonville Beach.
Hacker here, and look, football season is in full swing, and no game day setup is complete without the Sausage Dude sausage. I'm a sausage guy, and the Sausage Dude sausage is the best sausage I've ever had. Try their 4 terrific flavors, including Polish, Hungarian, beer bratwurst with jalapeno, and my personal favorite, the Italian today, by picking them up at any Publix in the Jacksonville area. Football and sausage, it's a winning combination. Go get the Sausage Dude sausage at any Publix in the Jacksonville area right now.
Atlantic Self-Storage, the official storage partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Need to make room to watch football in your home or need a place to park your boat or RV? Store it all at Atlantic Self-Storage. Over 50 locations in Northeast Florida. 24-hour access, all with month-to-month leases. Moving? They can help with supplies. They make storage easy. Go to AtlanticSelfStorage.com or call 877-WE-STORE to find a storage solution near you. Go Jags!
Want to be up close and personal with the Jaguars as they take the field? Here's your chance to be in the shadows, outside the Jaguars locker room, now called the Vault. Enter today at Jaguars.com/shadows. One winner a guest for every home game at Everbank Stadium. No purchase to enter or win, must be 18 or older and a legal resident of Florida or Georgia. Promotion period 9/5/23 through 12/15/23. For official rules and complete details, visit Jaguars.com. Sponsored by Jacksonville Jaguars, LLC.
Looking for quality equipment and a name you can trust? Lepo Rent, Bobcat of Jacksonville, is your premier construction equipment dealer and rental house. We have the right equipment for the job, offering the big and small tools needed for your next project. Lepo sells and rents track loaders, excavators, boom lifts, and much more. For your next project, remember Lepo Rents, your authorized Bobcat dealer in Jacksonville. Visit them online at leporents.com.
Since 2014, there's been only one official home builder of the Jaguars, Dreamfinders Homes. With quality-built homes and a speedy move-in process, we're in 20-plus communities in the best locations across Northeast Florida. Dreamfinders Homes is everywhere you want to live. So get off the sidelines, Jags fans, and get into the game. Let Dreamfinders help you navigate your home purchase and offer great interest rates. Visit dreamfindershomes.com for all your move-in ready homes and step up your game.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
1 hour down, 1 hour to go. We're with you till 10 o'clock tonight here on Hacker After Dark, a Thanksgiving Eve, 1010XL, 92.5 FM. Thank you to former Jaguar wide receiver Cecil Shorts and Andrew Catalon, the NFL on CBS, for joining us in Hour 1. Hour 2 is all about an XL Primetime reunion, right? We're going to talk with Leon Searcy. I hear him every day on Primetime. He's with me here weekly on Hacker After Dark. You also get us on the fifth quarter on Sundays. That'll be the case 2 hours after the Jaguars and the Texans this Sunday. Myself, Leon, and the head coach, Dave Campo. We'll have Leon on at the bottom of the 9 o'clock hour to preview the Jaguars and the Texans. But coming up next, my friend Matt Hayes. You also hear him every day on Primetime. You read him at SaturdayDownSouth.com. Let's talk Florida, Florida State. Let's talk playoff. Let's talk rivalry week. It is the best Saturday of the college football year, and let's talk about all of it with Matt Hayes next. Hacker After Dark on a Wednesday here in the city of Jacksonville. It's 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
This is the game right here if they're able to make a play.
The game-changing play.
What a play!
Listen for the performance painting high-performance play of the game.
That's a dime, good ball!
On 1010XL, performance painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
Hey everybody, Mike Dempsey here for Awaken 180 Weight Loss. So get this, last Tuesday my phone almost crashed from all the buzz. The station posted my post-Awaken 180 photo on social media, and wow, did people take notice. Friends I haven't seen in a while were texting me, Mike, you look fantastic. How did you do it? That's what losing weight and looking healthy does. People take notice and are genuinely happy for you. They think I put a ton of hard work in and it paid off. Well, here's the kicker. It did pay off, but with Awaken 180, there's no hard work. Jacksonville is now taking my word for it. Friends, listeners, coworkers are starting Awaken 180 and getting the same results I had. Our own Matt Hayes, he's down 16 pounds in just 2 weeks. Another buddy of mine is having his consultation this week, starting the program the day after Thanksgiving. What's stopping you? Reserve your consultation today. Get a jump start on your New Year's resolution, already down 25 pounds. Call 844-346-1800. That's 844-346-1800. Or go online to awaken180weightloss.com.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. Want even more excitement on game day? Then test your skills at PrizePicks, the best way to win big on fantasy sports. Just select 2 or more players, pick their projection for a wide variety of statistics, and place your entry. Simple. You can turn $10 into $250 just like that. I've got Kevin Durant scoring less than 31.5 points against San Antonio, and Tua Tagovailoa passing for less than 286.5 yards against Kansas City. Now listen to this. PrizePicks is the only daily fantasy platform with an injury insurance policy, keeping you in the game even if one of your players goes down. Sweat it out, watch your entries in real time, and continue the fun by making picks on second half and fourth quarter stats. Take your game day experience to the next level with PrizePicks. And right now, when you go to prizepicks.com/1010XL and use the promo code 1010XL, PrizePicks will match your first deposit up to $100. That's right, $100. PrizePicks, daily fantasy sports made easy.
Lauren Brooks here. Tired of joint pain holding you back? Try BioTarget from Injury Care Centers.
This treatment will prolong the life of your joints by targeting the root of your pain and delivering more regenerative cells to the affected area, ensuring faster and more effective healing, making BioTarget the most advanced regenerative treatment. For a limited time, BioTarget starts as low as $499. Call Injury Care Centers or visit GoBioTarget.com. That's GoBioTarget.com.
Any action? Find more fish on the Ring Power Fishing Forecast Show.
That's a big redfish, guys.
With Captain Kevin Faber.
Oh my gosh.
Brought to you by Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Thursday nights at 6
on 1010XL AM.
Upgrade your home with a winning combination of style and performance with custom windows and patio doors. For a limited time, buy one window or patio door and get one 40% off. Plus, no money down, no payments, and no interest for 1 year. This offer expires November 30th and restrictions apply. Renewal by Anderson. Proud to be the official window and door replacement partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit rbafla.com.
License number CGC 1527613.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. Worried about keeping your home warm this holiday season? Well, Fenwick Home Services is offering zero down, zero interest financing on select Energy Star rated heating and cooling systems to ease the burden. And don't make a single payment for an entire year. Schedule your free same-day estimate today and enjoy a cozier home tomorrow. This offer is only available now through December 31st. Control your comfort and cut your wallet some slack by visiting FenwickHomeservices.com/radio.
This is Walker Little of your Jacksonville Jaguars for Kingfish Pest Control. I've been a Kingfish customer for a while now and can confirm that their service is incredible. Not only do they protect my family from pests, Kingfish's office staff is the friendliest around. They even email me a photo of the tech before arriving at my home. Kingfish Pest Control is a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Be sure to enter their Swat That Kick sweepstakes for free pest control for 3 years. Go to kingfishpest.com and tell them Walker Little sent you.
Are you about ready to deck the halls for the holidays, but your home is cluttered with unwanted junk? Don't let the mess dampen your holiday spirit. Call J-Dog Junk Removal. And it's not just about cleaning up your space, it's about making a positive impact. You deserve a clutter-free home to celebrate in style. They're on a mission to make your holidays brighter and your home junk-free. Call now at 844-GET-JDOG or enter your zip code at jdog.com. J-Dog Junk Removal. Veteran-owned, veteran-operated.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Let's ring up another guest on the All-Pro Roofing phone line.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville, we are glad you are with us. The final week of the regular season of college football is here. It is rivalry week. Obviously, that means Florida and Florida State, among many other big games. And, boy, Florida and Florida State looks drastically different now than it did a couple of days ago. With all that being said, let me welcome in my friend Matt Hayes. You hear him every day on XL Primetime. You also read his great work over there at SaturdayDownSouth.com. Matt, how you doing?
Back. How are you? It's the rivalry, this Florida State rivalry. It's just bizarre how this thing ended up. I mean, there's been injuries before to quarterbacks. If you remember, the Rooster had to play, what was that, in 98, I guess, in the game. But never like where both quarterbacks are injured the week before and how everything just drastically changes when that happens. It's going to be a wild atmosphere there in Gainesville. It'll be a very interesting game, too, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, let's begin, Matt, with Jordan Travis. I was actually watching the game live when it happened, and when the play happened, I didn't realize it was as bad as it was until immediately all those guys ran to Jordan Travis's aid. What a terrible situation in Tallahassee. And look, the injury aside, obviously he's no longer going to be a Seminole. His career is over. He announced that on Monday. But just the legacy of Jordan Travis, Matt, you hated to see it end in a situation like that.
Yeah, it's just what a great dude, not only for Florida State, but for college football, a great ambassador, just a guy that really did it the right way, that just built himself into an elite player. That was clearly a project when he arrived at Louisville, and then when he got to Florida State transfer, same thing, just a project. There were many people who believed he could have switched to a receiver because he just didn't look like a natural thrower. when he first got there to Florida State, and he worked, man. My God, he worked his butt off, and he became a legit thrower. He became a legit NFL prospect. He's a guy that just, when he plays that game, man, he changes things, and that's really what you want for the most important position in the field. You want a guy that changes things, and fortunately for him, and for a lot of these young cats that play the position, the NFL now more and more is embracing these mobile quarterbacks. And he's now a guy that before the injury, I thought, okay, he's got a chance. Like, if he's got a couple big games coming up with the ACC championship game against Louisville, with a first-round playoff game, whoever it is, and potentially a national championship game. I was thinking, look, the NFL guys always say your tape is your resume. He plays big in those games. He's a guy that I thought could sneak into the late first round, maybe early second round. Clearly, it's not going to happen now, but I still think someone's going to take a chance on him. And I think all you got to do is watch him, watch the way he plays the game, watch how much of an accurate thrower he's become, how he does stuff off platform that I think a lot of the NFL guys really like now. But as far as college, man, what a player, Hack. I mean, you're talking about one of the top 5 players in the game. That's a big loss, not only for Florida State, but for college football. And just the way it happened, man, I hate those hip drag tackles, man. Not just on quarterbacks, but all guys, all elite skill guys. It's just, you can't get away with it. You can't ban that tackle. But when think about it, when you're grabbing someone, your arms around someone's waist and your head's right next to the waist too. So you're literally falling down as you're grabbing them, and falling and pulling, and your weight's coming down as you're pulling down. That is so dangerous, man. But you can't legislate that. That's impossible to do that. But those tackles are so dangerous. Those tackles are where a lot of those injuries happen. Ankle injuries, leg injuries, knee injuries. It's just, even hip injuries happen. You literally have 230, 240-pound guys, sometimes defensive linemen, grabbing guys around the hip, and as they're falling down, landing on them. It's brutal to even think about.
Yeah, it's bad, and it was a bad injury. I was talking to Ira Schofel of WarChant.com, has covered the Seminoles for decades over in Tallahassee, and I asked him, the conversation starts probably after the Heisman winners and the national champions, which Ward, Winkie, Winston, in whatever order you want to put them in. If you were to start it at number 4, where is Jordan Travis and the better quarterbacks that have played at Florida State? And he said he didn't know if he would use the term better or best, but he said most important. After Winkie, Winston, and Ward, again, whatever order you want to put them in, if you want to talk about the most important quarterbacks over the last 3 or 4 decades, he would think Jordan Travis at that point might be in that conversation.
Oh, I would definitely put him there. And in fact, I think he actually had the ability, I think, to probably jump Winkie had they made a magical run and won the national championship. I think you probably go, I mean, Charlie's got to be one, because Charlie is the originator, and I think what he did on the field, when the game really hadn't gone to that with quarterbacks, hadn't really moved to a dual threat guy. You had running quarterbacks that could run. You didn't really in college football have quarterbacks that could run and throw the ball accurately off platform, and off schedule, like Charlie Ward could. I think he's got to be one. You probably got to put Jameis at 2. And as much as all the nonsense off the field of Jameis, man, could he throw the ball? God almighty, accurately too. Just a phenomenal player. And I think with a national championship, with a run like that, I think Jordan Travis could have moved ahead of Winkie, though. I really do.
You get Matt Hayes every day on XL Primetime. You also read his work at SaturdayDownSouth.com. All right, the show goes on, and now it's Tate Rodemaker who steps in for the injured Jordan Travis. Matt, it's a simple question. Can Tate Rodemaker lead the Seminoles to wins over Florida and Louisville and get them in the college football playoff?
Short answer, yes, absolutely. Look, every time he's been asked to play, he's played well. He's not Jordan Travis, okay? He's not an elite guy, maybe not yet. But every time they've asked him to play, every time he's been put in a position that they need him. The Louisville game last year, he won the Louisville game last year. Every time he's been out there and they needed him, he's produced. Last week in that situation, you can say, well, it was North Alabama. All right. The entire team was shaking. Like, they didn't know what was going on. I don't care who you're playing. You better have a guy that goes in there and can calm things down, because in the first or second series, he takes them right down the field, and you can see it. Like, you got a guy who goes in there and struggles. What happens then? They're down 13-0 anyway, as is. They weren't playing well. He went in there and played really well. And I don't care if it was North Alabama. So can he beat those two teams? Yes, I think absolutely he can. And for anyone to think he can't beat Florida on the road, or he can't beat Louisville in the ACC championship game, that's just ridiculous to think that. Now, if we take it to the next step, could he beat, let's say Florida State gets in at 4, could he beat number 1 Georgia? And that's a tall tale. But that's a tall ask for any quarterback, though, Hack, much less Tate Rodemaker. So that would have been a tall task for Jordan. So, I don't know that you can say, well, just because it's Tate Rodemaker, they can't make the playoff. But if we get to the point where Florida State is dealing with, there's 5 unbeaten teams. Let's say you got the SEC champion, you've got the Big Ten champion, you've got the Pac-12 champion, and that would be Florida State would be the 4th, correct? 1, 2.
Yeah, because
3,
Michigan
4.
and Ohio
Right,
State are
right.
going to play each other. Yeah.
Right. And then you're in a situation. Okay, so then what do? You've got the Big Ten champions and SEC champions and Pac-12 champions in. Do you keep Florida State in at unbeaten, or do you go, well, what about let's just say Ohio State loses, and you got Ohio State sitting there with wins over Penn State and Notre Dame. Then what do? Let's say Alabama beats Georgia. And then what do? Do you put Florida State in over Alabama, or one loss to Alabama or Georgia? That's the conversation you're going to have. The playoff committee will have to have of, okay, we've always said it's going to be the 4 best teams. Is Florida State going to be one of the 4 best teams? I think you could argue they could be. You could also argue they could. Look, that's why I can't wait until it turns to 12 next year. We've got a 12-team playoff, because the conversation of 11 or 12 is going to be much easier than 3 or 4. And this is the exact situation we're talking about, where injuries have finally become an issue, for the playoff selection committee. It's going to be a tough thing. Honestly, who knows? Maybe they beat Florida like they beat Florida with Jordan Travis. Maybe they go to Louisville and beat Louisville 31-10 in the ACC championship game. And we all go, well, why wouldn't you put Florida State in? Look at it. Look how well they're playing with it.
Couple of more from Matt Hayes. You get him every day on XL Primetime. The ironic thing is, 2 hours after the Jordan Travis injury, Graham Mertz is lost for the year with a collarbone issue. Florida loses a heartbreaker to Missouri. And I was talking to some of my Gator buddies earlier this week, season ticket holders, alumni, and the such. And, yeah, bowl eligible. I mean, I'm sure that's what the team is caring about. They don't care about that. Their entire goal in life is to ruin Florida State's season on Saturday night, 7 o'clock at the Swamp. So I would imagine, even though Florida's 5-6 and the year's been terrible, the fact that it is Tate Rodemaker going into that environment, and Florida fans have only one thing on their mind, and that's ruining FSU's season, that's probably going to be some scene in Gainesville on Saturday.
Oh, yeah, it'll be electric there, man. There's no doubt about it. The injury to Mertz just he really was playing well since the South Carolina game. I thought he played well the first series in Georgia, and then Georgia flipped the switch, which is what Georgia's done to everybody since that cocktail party weekend, which they've done the last 3 years since the cocktail party weekend. They flip the switch and forget it, man. I mean, they literally impose their will on teams, and it's impressive. So I don't know if you can take that game and say he played poorly there. But since that South Carolina game, really, he's played well. And I think he's given them a chance to win every week. It was unfortunate how it ended. Again, you know how I feel about Mertz. He's not an elite quarterback, but I think he played well enough in the second half of the season where they were put in position to win games if their defense wasn't historically the worst defense in the history of the program. So, it's tough that he loses that Florida State game. My guess is he'll probably come back. But again, if you start talking about, what they could do in that game, with Max Brown at quarterback, I mean, Hack, you're going to see what kind of coach Billy Napier is, because he has a week to get this kid prepared for a really good defense in a big rivalry game, in a game that a lot of fans now think they could win because there is no Jordan Travis there, which in my head would be a big mistake for Florida fans going there thinking they win that game. I think they can win it, okay? There's no doubt about that, but it's a big mistake to think, oh, it's Tate Rodemaker. This is going to be a lot easier. It's not. It will not be a lot easier. And he's going to have to play well. And the thing is this, you can go into a game at the end of the game, Hack, and they can call a couple zone read stuff, and you can run the ball because the defense isn't ready for you. But you better believe Florida State would be ready for that zone read stuff. He's going to have to make throws in the passing game to win the game. And so we're going to get to see what kind of coach Billy Napier is and that staff is offensively, getting him ready to play and getting him in position with specific schematic stuff to beat that defense. And then if you're talking about Florida's defense, I mean, Hack, honestly, it's a crapshoot. Because if you're at 4th and 17 at any level of football, and you can't stop 4th and 17, you've got a lot of problems. And you can say everything you want about what it's like, and they've got young guys in the field. Well, those young guys in the field, guess what? There wasn't a coach on the sideline who said, you see Luther Burden, you stay on him, you jam him at the line of scrimmage. You've got zone coverage behind you, you're safe. Follow him everywhere he goes. And instead, they just gave him free release. No one touches him. He turns around, finds a spot in the zone, boom, first down on 4th and 17. That's coaching, Hack. That's not, you can't blame that on young guys. You just can't.
It's right. And look, not only was it a 4th and 17 conversion, like you said, it was a wide open 4th and 17 conversion. There were 4 Gator players literally staring at Luther Burden when he caught that ball. It was, I agree with you. I've never seen a Gator defense this bad in the 35 years I've been able to watch Florida football. Matt, as we wrap up, would a win Saturday for Florida salvage the 2023 season?
Oh, God, yes. Oh, God. A win over Florida State? The way they played, I don't think it's not just a bowl game, which is whatever. You go to Birmingham and play a bowl game, and you get the 15 extra practices for the players, for the young guys, which is nice. You know, you get the young guys, the early enrollees, the recruiting class. They're there. Someone will probably get to practice with them. That's important, of course it is. Man, winning this game would be so big for not only Billy Napier, it would be big for the entire program. It would be big for the momentum. Because Hack, I mean, look, he's not safe yet, man. He's not. Okay? They lose this game like 38-3. He's got problems. If Billy Napier were safe right now, you would hear Scott Strickland come out and say, he's my coach, man. We're good. We're moving into the future with him. We haven't heard anything like that. Anything. And then you could say, well, why would he say it if it's not going to happen? Believe me, you say it because you've got a recruiting class like that clearly is waffling. 3 have already left. So if he's your guy, you say it. So this game is a lot bigger than people think. You can't go in there and lose this game and get blown out. No way. If that happens, he's in big trouble.
Yeah, it's interesting. He's 11-13. It's not been the start people wanted, no question. Matt Hayes with us. Matt, final question. Rivalry week, a lot of crazy things happen. We got to go quick here, but Florida State, obviously the one we're most focused on. Of the other contenders, you would expect Georgia to destroy Georgia Tech. You would expect Alabama to destroy Auburn. What about the Apple Cup? What about, I guess you can't refer to it as a civil war anymore. I'm still going to. Out in the state of Oregon.
Go ahead. You can do it. Go ahead.
There you go.
I do too.
So the Civil War, the Apple Cup, obviously Michigan, Ohio State. Where does the most drama happen on Saturday?
Michigan, Ohio State's got to be that. I mean, I think that's going to be a great game. That's a game that honestly, Ohio State has to have. I mean, if you're Ryan Day, you have got to have that game, just because of all the drama that's going on. Clearly they were the team that initiated. They may say they didn't do anything and they didn't contact the NCAA. They were the thing that initiated the whole thing with Michigan and the sign stealing and the future scouting. And they've lost to Michigan the last 2 years. And now their fans are using that as an excuse of why they lost the last 2 years. Ryan Day's been getting heat for the last year about losing for the last 2 years. You go in and lose that game again. after you can no longer use the sign signals as an excuse, or you get blown out again for the third straight year. Man, Ohio State coaches are fired for that. I'm not going to say they would fire Ryan Day, but I'm saying that very easily could lead to Ryan Day saying, all right, I'm done with this nonsense. And I wrote this for today at Saturday Tradition. I think this could be the last game that not only Jim Harbaugh coaches against Ohio State, but that Ryan Day coaches against Michigan. I think they both could leave for the NFL after this year. That wouldn't surprise me in the least. As far as the other ones, I don't think Washington State has enough for Washington, but I think Oregon State could beat Oregon. It's a road game, so it's a lot harder, but that's a bitter rivalry, man. Honestly, that's a brutal game. And if you've watched Oregon this year, a very talented team, no doubt about it. They played one game of significance, though, one, and they lost it to Washington. The rest of that schedule is just not that. It's just not that good. I don't think the Pac-12 is as good as everyone thought it was. So they're going to get a game on their hands because this is a bitter rivalry. Could Oregon lose? Of course. I don't know how much that's going to affect Florida State's road to the title. They much rather have a Washington loss, or a week from now, a Georgia loss to Alabama. So we'll see. We'll see how it plays out, man. It's going to be wild.
It'll be fun. It's the best Saturday of the year, no question about it. Matt Hayes, you get him at Saturday Down South. You hear him every day on XL Primetime. Matt, I know you're busy, man. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. We'll talk again soon, bud.
All right, brother. Happy Thanksgiving.
Bold picks and safe picks.
It's a bold strategy. Let's see if it pays off for them.
Listen for the Otterson Wealth Advisors risk-reward picks of the week all day Friday on 1010XL. Otterson Wealth Advisors. Your goals, our expertise.
The best time of the year for blue crabs right now at the Blue Crab Crab House. They've been open since 1996, and they are a staple here in Duval. Sundays, you have the Bloody Mary specials. Mimosas as well, $2.50 noon until 5 o'clock. Of course, each and every Tuesday, $2 margaritas.